Let's finish the year strong. Hey ladies, I'm back and this is the Mamas in Control podcast. I'm Heather Chauvin and we have a few weeks left of 2021. It's go time. So every single day you're going to hear a podcast from me. This podcast are tips, tricks, strategies, clips from inside of our mastery and our mastery business coaching experience. We talk about parenting. We talk about emotional health. We talk about managing our energy and our time. But more importantly, this is about how we show up in the world. We all know who we want to become. We know what we don't want in our lives. Therefore, we know what we do want in our lives. And sometimes figuring that out, that's where the magic happens. When we know how to master our fear, master our guilt, master our resistance, and not push through it. This is not about burnout. It's not about hustling. This is about showing up, shifting our identity and showing up in a way that feels aligned and alive with the life that we want to be living. Whether it's at home or in your career, you could work in corporate, you could be a business owner, whoever you are in the world, you are ready to make a bigger impact. You are ready to feel alive. So if you are somebody who's been following me for a while and waiting until we open the doors to our coaching programs, now is the time. We are doing our interviews for 2022 start dates. So head on over to heatherchauvin.com/mastery. Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/mastery. And if you are interested in our mastery business coaching experience, this is for women, professional women who are either trying to leave corporate and want to market their skills. You are a badass and you know you're good at it, but you just have no idea how to do marketing or sales. Check out our mastery business experience. That's Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/business. And maybe you have no desire to start a business, or maybe you don't own a business and you are just incredibly overwhelmed and you have no idea where to start. And the thought of entering a longer term program, whether it's 8 months with a big investment, feels really overwhelming to you. That's why this year we decided to open the doors for the first time ever publicly for our Mastery Jumpstart experience. This is a 2-month container of space helping you start to get the engine going, creating that momentum for you. So you get everything that we give our students inside of our mastery experience. You get a mentor, you get access to me, you get the modules, you get the live calls. And it's only 2 months, which means it's a fraction of the investment as well. So if you've been hanging out a while and you've been wanting to work with me, but you're like, holy crap, how am I going to make this happen? Now is the time. But here's the trick. The doors do close at the end of December, and we will not be opening them again for Mastery Jumpstart until the spring. So now is the time to join us and book that call. So head on over to Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/mastery. You have one life and so many opportunities to change the trajectory of how you feel and what your future looks like. Now is the time to take that action. heatherchauvin.com/mastery. Do not pass up this opportunity. Once the doors are closed, they will be closed until the spring. All right, let's dive into today's podcast.
All right, so let's talk about the difference between a punishment and a consequence. All right, so the goal of a punishment is to get the child to feel bad so they don't do it again. And this doesn't create change. So what happens is we end up imposing or projecting onto them how we want them to feel or how we think they should feel. And so the message is, don't feel the way you're feeling. Feel the way I tell you to feel. I'm the adult. I know this is how you should feel. So don't trust yourself. And then what happens is we grow up not trusting our own feelings. And I don't know about you guys, but I know I've often said things like, I know I shouldn't feel that way. Or to the opposite, I know I should feel sad about that, but I really don't. And so we end up not trusting our own feelings or our own knowing. We don't trust ourselves because that gets kind of conditioned out of us. And in the long run, also what happens is kids don't feel bad about what happened. They feel bad about who they are. And again, it shifts the focus of the issue to now you're the mean parent. You're so mean. I hate you, blah, 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 blah. And so it ends up, rather than them taking responsibility, they end up being defensive and blaming. And it creates anger and resentment, and which creates more acting out behavior. So oftentimes we can't become the persecutor, or there are times where we become the rescuer, and we end up rescuing our children from the consequences of their action. And so, for example, I'll just use this for an example. So your child has a big project due, and they knew about this for weeks, but they let it go, and they just told you about it, and it's due tomorrow. So and so let's say it's worth a lot of points, and so if they don't turn anything in, they're going to get a 0, and that's going to drag their grade down. So oftentimes what we do, we don't want that to happen. We don't want them to get a 0 or get a bad grade. So we say, okay, well, let's get all the stuff. I'll help you. Let's just create this. And it's getting late, and you don't want your child to be up all night. So you say you go to bed and, you finish it up. So what happens is you just save them from the consequence of their actions. And oftentimes then what we do is we lecture them, don't let this happen again. I'm not going to save you again, blah, 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 blah. And inevitably it does happen again because they do know you're going to rescue them. Because the consequence actually then shifted to the consequence of them not doing their project was a lecture. And for a lot of kids, they'll trade a lecture to get rescued. So lecturing doesn't create change. And so lecturing doesn't create change. Persecuting doesn't create change. What it does create, though, is power struggles. And then we're in that drama triangle. And so we want to shift to that empowerment triangle. So rather than being the persecutor, the opposite of that is the coach. So we would rather coach them through. Did I say the rescuer? Rather than be the rescuer, we want to be the coach. Rather than being the persecutor, we want to be the challenger. So, how are you going to get this project done? What do you need? They can pull some things together, but, they may be able to get enough handed in. We might be able to encourage them to do something to get some points. But yeah, the consequence of that is their grade might come down. And so that is the motivator for change. Okay, so the goal of a punishment is to get the child to feel bad. The goal of a consequence is to motivate and to create change. And so what determines if you deliver a consequence or a punishment is intention. is your intention. So, and I'm just going to read this. So, every action we take is preceded by an intention. And our intention, as we approach a situation, will impact the outcome in a profound way. And so for me, so intention is actually energy. So if I change that word for me to energy, it makes a little bit more sense to me. I can visualize that a little bit more. So I'm going to read that again and put the word energy in it. Every action we take is preceded by an energy. Our energy, as we approach a situation, will impact the outcome in profound ways.
Hello. Hi, my name is Dot Rock, and I just wanted to leave a message about how much Heather Chauvin's Mastery Business Program changed my life. So prior to doing her Mastery Business Program, I did Heather's Mastery Program and then transitioned into the Mastery Business Program because I had become so clear that I wanted to start a business and leave my corporate job. I started my business and was able to build it and quit my corporate job in just less than 6 months. And I have more than doubled my income that I made at that corporate job working for myself. And that is the biggest part of this journey was because of Heather's Mastery Business Program and the accountability it gave me, the strategy it gave me. She would give me small actionable steps on how to do sales, and it gave me access to this group of women who were doing the same thing, and many of which had already made strides in the things that I needed to do. COVID hit while I was doing business mastery, and I had just started my small business. I was still working in my corporate job. This was last April. April of 2020. And by July of 2020, I resigned my corporate job. By September, I was working full-time in my business only. And I'm doing work that lights me up. I am on a daily basis building this business that I love. She is herself living and doing the work. And that makes a big difference in being in a program where somebody's preaching what you should do and not actually applying it in their life. So what makes the program also different is the community of women that are in there. It is invaluable. The women who are in Heather's programs, they will change your life. And I have developed friendships and relationships that will last a lifetime.
Well, that's it. And I wanted to thank you for listening today because I truly believe you are exactly where you need to be. And now I have a favor to ask. In exchange for the value you've gained from this free podcast, I'd be forever grateful if you would leave us a review on iTunes. Share the show with at least one woman in your life who you feel would benefit, and or take a screenshot and share it on social media. And always feel free to tag me at Heather Chauvin. The world does not benefit from your guilt and fatigue. The world needs more women who are willing to unlearn everything they've been taught. Women who are courageous enough to feel good and not let guilt run the show. I believe you are that courageous woman. To see if my community and coaching is the right fit for you and your big vision, the relationships you desire, the money, time, energy that you know deep down you are capable of creating, then head on over to heatherchauvin.com/work with me. That's Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/work with me, and take the next step in the right direction. Taking a stand for how you feel means you are taking a stand for how your children show up as adults. And if you have a personal question or topic you'd like me to answer on the podcast, text me 313-710-5199. 313-710-5199. You are so worthy of feeling good. Now go do some scary shit.